Your body is starving and will never admit it. 2 billion people are missing a nutrient right now, feeling the same bone-deep ache. But their bodies refuse to say which one is gone. Your body runs on iron the way an engine runs on fuel. Every single cell in your body needs iron to grab oxygen from your blood and burn it into usable energy. Iron sits inside the molecule that carries oxygen through your bloodstream. And it also sits inside the tiny power generators that turn that oxygen into the energy your cells actually run on. When iron drops, even slightly, those generators start suffocating. You feel it as bone-deep exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. Brain fog so thick, it feels like you are thinking through wet cement, and legs that twitch and jerk at night and will not let you rest. And here is what most routine blood tests never catch. You can be iron deficient without being anemic. Your red blood cell count looks perfectly normal, but your iron reserves are already running dry. A study of nearly 200 people with restless legs found that over 40% had dangerously low iron stores with completely normal blood counts. They spent months blaming stress, poor sleep, even anxiety medications, when the real problem was invisible on standard lab work. But iron doesn't operate alone. It needs 2 partners to build new red blood cells. One is B12, a vitamin you can only get from animal foods or supplements, because your gut cannot absorb the version bacteria make in your colon. The other is folate, which your body uses to copy DNA every time a cell needs to divide. All 3 feed into the same assembly line inside your bone marrow. Lose any one input, and the entire production line stalls. Your marrow cannot build blood cells fast enough. Your tissues starve for oxygen, and you feel like you are running on half a battery with no way to recharge. I make a new video about your body's hidden signals every week. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And that is not even the strangest part. B12 deficiency can look exactly like dementia. People lose their short-term memory, get confused in familiar places, struggle to hold a conversation, and end up diagnosed with brain diseases they do not actually have. In some cases, restoring B12 reverses those symptoms entirely. Years of decline, years of fear, erased by replacing one missing nutrient that nobody thought to check. That is how powerful a single gap in this system can be. By the time your energy system is struggling, something else is quietly falling apart. Your skeleton is dissolving itself right now, and it is doing it on purpose. Your blood needs calcium every second to keep your heart beating in rhythm and your muscles firing. If you are not absorbing enough calcium from food, your body does not wait. It sends a hormone signal that wakes up specialized cells whose only job is to chew through solid bone and release calcium into your bloodstream. Your body will sacrifice the strength of your skeleton to keep your heart alive for one more day. Vitamin D is the key that unlocks calcium absorption in your gut. Without enough of it, you can eat all the dairy and leafy greens you want, and most of the calcium passes straight through without ever reaching your blood. And here is where the system gets impossibly tangled. Magnesium is required to activate vitamin D into its usable form. And vitamin D, once active, helps your body absorb more magnesium. They depend on each other in a locked circle. Lose either one, and the other stops working properly, even if you technically have enough of it on paper. This explains why muscle cramps after exercise get blamed on dehydration when the real culprit is often low magnesium. Your muscles need magnesium to relax after they contract. Without it, they lock up and spasm for no obvious reason. It also explains something far more troubling. Calcium supplements, strangely, may increase heart attack risk, while calcium from actual food does not. A large analysis of clinical trials found that taking calcium pills raised the risk of heart attacks by 14%, but dietary calcium from food showed no such danger. The way calcium enters your body changes what your body does with it. So your energy system and your bone system both have shared bottlenecks, where multiple nutrients converge on the same critical output. Different missing nutrients produce the same exhaustion, the same weakness, the same fog. But why does your body do this? Why can't it simply tell you which specific nutrient has run out? Because it was never built to. Your body has no dedicated sensor for any individual vitamin or mineral. Not a single one. Instead, It monitors what those nutrients produce further down the line. It feels low energy output, weak immune response, sore and twitching muscles, slow wound healing. These are all downstream products, not direct measurements of the raw materials. Your body watches the final output of its assembly lines and sounds a general alarm when anything drops below normal. It never identifies which specific ingredient ran out. And this actually makes perfect sense when you think about how humans lived for hundreds of thousands of years. Your ancestors had no supplement aisles, no blood panels, no nutrition labels. When they felt exhausted or weak or mentally dull, the only useful behavioral response was to eat something different. Forage wider, try new plants, hunt different prey. That vague, miserable feeling of something being wrong drove them to diversify their diet, and diversifying statistically corrected whatever single gap existed. One blunt alarm was enough, because one behavioral response fixed nearly any deficiency in a world of varied natural food. But here is the reversal that changes how you see all of this. You can be overweight and starving at the cellular level at the same exact time. Researchers call it hidden hunger, and it affects over 2 billion people across the globe. Someone eating 3,000 calories a day from processed, energy-dense food can still be profoundly deficient in iron, zinc, vitamin D, and magnesium all at once. They look well-fed. Their cells are famished. And because symptoms overlap so completely, they have no way to guess which nutrients are actually missing, and it compounds because deficiencies drag each other down. Iron is required for your thyroid to produce its hormones properly. Vitamin C keeps iron in the chemical form your gut can actually absorb. B12 and folate share a recycling loop, and when one drops, it traps the other in a form your body cannot use. One gap cascades quietly into 2 gaps, then 3, until symptoms pile so thickly that no single test or supplement addresses the full picture. So here is what all of this means for your actual life. Your body's alarm system is ancient and deliberately blunt. It was built for a world where eating a wider variety of real food was the universal cure, and no laboratory existed to name the specific problem. Fatigue, brain fog, cramps, slow healing, low mood. These are not diagnoses. They are clues. Overlapping clues from a system that learned to say change what you eat rather than you are missing zinc. The next time your muscles ache for no clear reason and a full night of sleep does not fix it, remember what is really happening. An alarm far older than language itself is firing. Not broken, not confused, just speaking the only way it ever learned how. It is asking you, in the bluntest possible terms, to give your body something genuinely different.